Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Bienvenidos. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Bienvenidos a otro video, al podcast de este canal. Welcome to this channel's podcast. Today we are going to talk about things that people love about Latin American countries, and also we are going to talk about, just Spain in general, any Spanish speaking country, okay? So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time we live stream. Also, please visit smlessons.com for more free Spanish lessons, to download free stuff, and to support this channel as well. You can just go to smlessons.com for that. And I like to give a big shout out to Kay Beck and Stella Sabatini. They are Cafecito members. Thank you, Kay Beck and Stella Sabatini. The coffee is delicious, and thank you so much for the support. If you are interested in supporting this channel, you can check out the memberships that we have. You only need to click on the join button down below for that, and you can check out the perks and all that fun stuff. So yeah, take a few minutes and look at the memberships if you can. Here with me, before that, please give this video a like. That helps a lot. And here with me is the mysterious voice. How are you, mysterious voice?
I'm good.
How's it going? Good?
It's going, yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Are you tired today?
Every day.
Every day.
Well,
I'm a bit tired too. And sorry, we apologize because we started like 10 minutes late. But yeah, sorry about that. We were dealing with some technical difficulties, but we're good. We're ready to get started. And today, as I was saying, we're going to talk about things that people love about different Spanish-speaking countries. And I think all these countries have this in common. And we will go over 10. We will go over 10 things, okay? So please feel free to use the live chat if you want to interact with us, and if you want to share your experiences. Why do you like Latin America? Why do you like Spain? Why do you like learning Spanish? Just give us your perspective. That would be great. So what do you think about this topic?
Yeah, it should be fun.
Should be fun, right? Okay, so what do you think, without looking at my notes?
I can't see them from this angle anyways.
What do you think about that? Like, what do you think would be something that people like about all the Latin America culture and Spain, including Spain as well?
Well, stuff like the food, just like the people, like the culture itself.
And why is that?
Well, because it's unique. Like every part of it, they might share stuff in common, but at the end of the day, like it's all very unique.
Very unique. Yeah, every country is unique too, right? Well, I did some research because, as everybody knows, well, if you're following this channel, and obviously you know that I am Mexican, so I'm part of that. I'm part of the culture, the Spanish-speaking country culture, and I know a few things, but you are not Latino, so you can't tell me. Well, you can't give me your perspective as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. So the first one is the colorful places. So it's crazy how different countries in Latin America and also in Spain, they all have this in common. Like, especially small towns or like old looking towns, they look extra colorful. Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
What did I say?
That especially small towns, they look extra colorful.
Why do you think it's this?
I don't know.
You don't know? Give me something. I don't know. Just whatever comes to your mind.
I don't know.
You don't know. Come on. Just kidding. There's nothing like, wow, like there is something that, a reason why they're colorful. But if you see like different, I think in Spain, there are towns that have houses that are very colorful. Like I'm telling you, colorful. Like seriously, like they're bright blue, bright yellow, bright red, in different colors. There isn't like a pattern for that, because I know that like North America, usually they have this thing about, oh, I have to have this color, you know, and I have to have something that that looks like this, and for specific reasons, right? What are the reasons for that?
The crappy homeowner society, like homeowners association, that forces people to have everything looking exactly the same and boring.
Really?
Yeah. Boring,
well, I
boring
think
white
it's
people.
It's also the house market.
Yeah.
Right? Like you want your property to be more valuable, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a neighbor that has this pink house, maybe something happens. I don't know. But in Latin America and including Spain, they have towns that they look so colorful. It's like Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Like that colorful, that bright colors, the whole town, nothing looks uniform, but there is some beauty in that. And I think that's something that people like and love about Latin America and also Spain.
Yeah. It's nice because it stands out. It's very unique. I know not so much colorful, but I know when I was in Greece, they have like the stereotype pictures you see from Greece of like this soup, like, you know, the coastline and the sea, and super white buildings with like really bright or like dark blue roofs.
The roofs were blue?
Or like dark blue or like super bright blue, and it's
really?
like really unique looking, and like
That's
it
interesting.
looks really nice, because especially when you see this, you know, with the contrast with the sea, because the sea is really blue and the roofs and the buildings are white. They stand out so much. Like it looks really like it almost looks like it's not real.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And there is some beauty in that. And it would be nice that if the world had more of that, you know. There's also towns, I know about a town in Mexico that all the houses are white. Just white. Just
I remember you told me about that. Yeah,
all white. It's not close to the sea. The city is not close to the sea. It looks like a little town because it's all white, and the roof has those they look like shingles, but they're made out of, it's like the plant pots that we like.
Oh yeah.
Terracotta shingles.
It's like they're tiles, yeah.
Tiles, yeah. So it looks amazing. It looks amazing. Yeah. I think the name of the town is Taxco. I think that's the name of the town, and it's all white. Yeah, I believe so. And even the cabs, the taxis, they're white. So everything has to be white. So when you go there, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I think that's the town. Yeah, it looks like that.
Nice.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, if you Google Taxco, you will see it, and it's very nice. We have something on the live chat. Someone on the live chat. Sorry, it's kind of late. And I see, who is it?
God with us together. Hello.
Ah. What? I think this person is... I don't know. Well, welcome, and thank you for being here. This person is asking, could it be the point? I don't know. I think this is... Anyway, moving on. So that was the first thing, okay? The first thing about... or the first thing that people love about Latin America / Spain, because you can find all the colors everywhere in those countries. And now, let me tell you, point number 2, or the second thing that people love about these countries is that it's easy to eat anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a big thing.
Yeah, isn't there like a ton of street food?
Exactly. So it's not only food, but it's very good food for a really good price.
Greece was like that too, but it could be, again, just because it was like a tourist destination, right? So like even on the beach, there was like somebody selling like shish kebabs, you know, and like souvlaki and stuff like that. Like just on the beach, and there was like a lot of like small restaurants, so you can just kind of sit in a patio and stuff like that. It was really
but
nice.
Restaurants is a bit different.
Yeah,
it's a bit different. I think I don't know. I love street food that has good quality and a good price, and that's why a lot of American franchises, fast food franchises, they do not do well in those countries, right? Because you can get like a big torta that is like this big and it's this thick for like less than half of what you would pay for I don't want to say brands or franchises, fast food restaurants, but you know what I mean, right? And it's just the ingredients are better.
Way better. It's the
experience too, because you talk with the person who's making the food and you're like, hey, like, what's up, how are you doing?
There's more of a connection. It's not it's like I remember before I moved here, there was in a town I lived in when I was in high school, in public school, there was a place, like a family-owned restaurant that made like subs, like sandwiches. And you know, like just going there and getting it from them, it was just so much better than going to like a chain, you know. To get
much
it's just
better for
I don't know, it's just like, because I remember the one time, because I used to go there for lunch pretty much every day. And the one time I ate my sub, you know, they brought me my sub, I was eating it, and the owner's wife was there, and she's like, oh, how's everything? So I said, I'm like, honestly, like my favorite subs.
Really?
And she made me another one and just brought it to me like for free.
That's
just because
crazy.
I said I like their food.
Wow.
You know, so it's like it's
that's
and I think that's with those kind of like corner stands and things like that, is that you can have a relationship with the person working there. You can get to know them.
For sure.
You know, and it's just it makes the food better because they're willing to, you know, go that extra step to make it better for you, or just, you know, it's like they put more care in what they're doing. You
exactly.
know?
Yeah, for sure. And they also get to get to know yourself. Like they can even tell you, hey, like you should do this or you should go here and here, and it's a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get to know the people, and that's pretty cool. If you go to a fast food restaurant, you barely get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it
Sometimes,
depends
I guess.
how often you go, I guess.
Well, we have someone on the live chat.
KS.
KS, hello KS, welcome. KS is saying, ¿Cómo estuvo tu día? Un día me gustaría visitar un país latino. Well, that's great, KS. You can, I mean, whenever that's possible. Yeah, it would be nice to go to some Latin American country, or even Spain, right?
Yeah.
But for now, we can talk about those countries. And thank you for asking about my day. El día estuvo bien, estuvo un poco ocupado, pero estuvo muy bien. Thank you for asking. And okay, so let's talk about the third point, the language. Okay, so a lot of people, I'm not sure why people want to learn Spanish specifically. It could be for various reasons, like for example, I don't know, like someone wants to know a Latino girl, or wants to, I don't know, interact with other people from
I think it's just
countries.
Especially in North America, it's a widely spoken language. It's like the second most spoken language, pretty much,
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like if you live in Canada, you want to learn English and French, because it opens a lot more doors as far as jobs, as far as just being able to communicate and better yourself and have better opportunities. And I think it's the same, for an example, in America. Learning Spanish would be a huge benefit to people, especially if you live like in the South.
Yeah, for sure. In the South, for sure. And I think Latinos in America, they're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Like Florida, they have a lot of Latinos. A lot of people from Cuba, and that's great. That's great. And I think it's in America specifically, it's very important to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's good for you if you learn a second language.
Yeah, it
it's
keeps
good
your
for
brain
you.
active.
Yeah, I remember someone from Switzerland, I think. Switzerland. He's a vlogger. He said that he speaks 6 languages, something like that. Because I think in Switzerland they have to learn German.
Yeah, more than likely.
French. And I'm not sure how many languages. But let's find out. And that's the same thing. They have a lot of people from other countries.
Yeah.
And that's why they want they need to learn languages. Those languages, right? So I see that Switzerland has 4 official languages.
Wow.
German, French, Romansh. Is that Romansh? That's Romansh. It says Romansh and Italian. So that is very, very interesting, because I didn't know that. And this guy said, hey, like he speaks Spanish because he's married to a Mexican woman. So that's why he speaks 8 languages.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because he speaks Spanish and also English.
Wow.
So that is crazy. Like, how is that? How is it possible that a person can learn that many languages? Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. You speak quite a few languages too, right? How many?
Like,
because they're similar to Serbian, right?
Yeah, like technically like 3.
3?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's Serbian, English.
Serbian, English,
and
Croatian, I guess,
Croatian.
kind of Bosnian. But I mean, those three are pretty much identical. There's
similar.
like very, very similar. All used to be one language at one point. So.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow.
I mean, it's kind of cheating.
Well, anyway, so Spanish sounds... To you, what does Spanish sound like?
That sounds like Spanish.
No, but if you listen Spanish, because for me, English, before learning English, to me, English sounded like rush, you know, like a lot of I mean, I don't want to make fun of the language, but that's how it sounds. So when you don't know a language, it sounds like gibberish to you, but it has a certain tone. You know, for example, Serbian to me, it sounds like you guys are yelling, that you guys are mad, you know. Spanish sounds probably a bit more like a soft kind of
it's
language.
Especially depending on from what part, like what Latin Spanish speaking country. It sounds like more melodic in some cases. Yeah, it's
like Colombians. They sound like
they're singing.
They're singing also with Argentinians. Like if you have two people, one from Colombia and the other one from Argentina, they sound so different. Yet they're both speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
I can understand both. So that's the benefit of learning Spanish, that you will understand people from many countries, including America, right?
And even you said like Portuguese is very similar, and Italian as well.
Portuguese, like that's another language that I like to learn, Portuguese, because I can understand some of the things that they're saying. You know, specifically Italian. I can understand Italian really well. And I think Italian is it sounds like Spanish. Yeah. You know, a different kind of Spanish. But all those languages come from the Latin.
Yeah, the same.
The Latin language, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they sound quite familiar, right?
Yeah.
So, well, that was the language. The language is just like... I like learning languages. I like how, for example, French sounds. It sounds very complicated, but it sounds very cool. Also, Japanese, you know, sounds very cool. Or Korean. Korean sounds very nice too. And I think it depends on the person, but they might feel like, oh, I like how this sounds, and I want to learn that. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, point number 4 is the food. Okay? Yeah. And this one is an easy one.
Yeah.
Why do you think people like food? Because it's flavorful, but like different Latin American countries and even Spain, they all have very different food. Like Mexican food is so different from food from Spain. Yeah. Spanish food,
and right? That's the thing. It's like I said earlier. It's every culture, and even though they speak the same language and they share a lot of the culture, it's still so like different from each other. And I think that's what. Yeah. And food is usually a really big way for culture to like express itself. So that's
for sure. Yeah, so, and it's so cool that you can try many different dishes, traditional dishes, right? So that the food definitely is something interesting in every culture, including Latin American culture and / Spain. Okay, so the next one is the weather, okay? The weather is something that a lot of Latin American countries, like that, it's something that it's so good. It's so good because maybe that's why people in those countries are happy.
Yeah.
Because they get this nice weather.
Yeah.
You know, in Mexico, based on my experience, you can find different kinds of different weather. You know, it could be super sunny and warm, or it can be a little bit warm and dry, or warm and humid, or also like in between, that it feels like it's always spring.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a city, Cuernavaca in Mexico, and that city has a slogan, because, you know, towns and cities have slogans.
They all have, yeah.
So the slogan of this town, or city rather, is the city of the eternal spring.
That must be nice.
Yeah, because the weather is so good. It's not too hot, not too warm. I mean, not too cold, not too warm, and it's just good. Perfect temperature.
Really nice.
Yeah. And also in other countries like Central America probably have nice weather too, and also South America, I think they have really good weather, really warm weather. But for example, close to Brazil, even in Brazil, they have like a jungle. You know, they have a lot of different I don't know how the weather is down there, but I think
probably humid,
but I assume it's pretty good.
Yeah, more
it's
likely.
Pretty good. But yeah, in Chile, and even say Argentina, if you go really south, you get like cold temperatures. And sometimes I think it's over there that you get, like right now we have winter, and they have winter, but it's hot. It's something like that. It's like backwards.
Yeah.
They have winter later on or something like that. Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, let's move on. I see KS says something. Is saying something. KS says, empecé la escuela secundaria. No soy bueno, pero soy implacable. Vivo en Sur Florida. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Your Spanish is really good, KS. Thank you for sharing. And let's see. The weather, right?
Yeah.
The weather is awesome. The people. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And I think this has to do also, it's a lot of different things that I think make people warm, you know, besides the warm weather. It's just crazy how out of the blue someone, or if you know someone, your friends, let's say, and they're Latinos, they approach you with this, I don't know, like, you're smiling even before talking.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't know why you're smiling, but you're smiling. You're happy to see your friend, your family, and it's just happiness. I'm not saying every single one is happy, you know, because
but it's like
everybody's
the
different.
culture is like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because if you bump into someone who speaks Spanish, you're starting right away. If you're in Germany or in America, Canada, I don't know, in somewhere in Europe, you start speaking Spanish. It's like, hey, and you don't even have to know this person. You're speaking Spanish. Where are you from? What are you doing here?
I think that's even in other places, because even here,
I remember that guy from the market that sells burek.
Yeah.
And you're like speaking in Serbian and all.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just, it's the whole like you're a stranger somewhere, and then you see somebody that's like you know, like you, hey, I identify with this person, we have something in common, whereas I have nothing in common with anybody else.
It's like the rest is just, it stops, everybody else stops existing, and you're like, hey man, it's so nice. It's like you have a piece of your country right there, right?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. and you start talking like the casual talk, like, what are you doing here, like, what's up, and they tell you their story and you tell them your story. It's pretty nice.
No, I want some burek.
That is super salty.
That's so good.
So salty.
It's so good though.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
but
delicious.
anyways, I see KS is also saying something else. Antes de ir a trabajar, me agarro un café cubano y empanadas. So KS is saying that before going to work, KS grabs coffee, Cuban coffee, and some empanadas. You know what empanadas are, right? Yeah, that's great. That's great. KS, thank you for sharing. I think I need coffee too in the morning. I haven't tried Cuban coffee. I wonder how it is. If you can let us know, KS, because it sounds pretty good.
What's the difference? I don't know anything about coffee because I don't drink it. So
I do drink coffee a lot.
You can tell me. You can tell me whatever, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, wow, I have no idea what's going on.
Anyway, okay, so that was the people. We could talk about people from Latin America and Spain all day, all night, but I think overall they are really warm, really approachable. You can start a conversation really easily, and if you're learning Spanish, they will not mind if you mispronounce something or if you don't understand something. They will try to explain that to you or even help you out.
Yeah.
So that's something really great.
That's the one thing I remember being told about a lot when I was younger, that in Quebec, like, if you don't speak French, no one's going to talk to you.
Oh.
But when we were in Montreal, I found that a lot of people are happy to practice their English.
Really?
Yeah, because every time we had to ask for directions or anything, like, I don't speak French at all.
Yeah.
But they were like, they seemed like excited to talk in English.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's I think they care about French a lot in Quebec or Quebec. But I think they're not as, like, other people say that they don't talk to you in any other language but French, and I understand why they want to keep French alive,
their culture and everything. I get
but I think you can go there and speak some English, but it's a good idea to know some French, and just at least you can say bonjour, or merci, and they're gonna be like, good. And same if you go to any Latin American country in Spain, just learn some basic Spanish. If you don't know any Spanish, learn to say hola, ¿cómo está? Gracias, me puede dar, all the basics. I have videos about that.
Una cerveza, por favor.
Una cerveza, por favor. Un tequila, por favor.
¿Dónde
un
está
cafecito.
la biblioteca?
Nobody asks that. Who asks that?
I don't know why that's such a stereotype phrase.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, I don't know why that's such a stereotype phrase when it comes to Spanish. It makes no sense.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's crazy, but I mean, maybe
because back in the day, like, maybe they had like a payphone you could use there or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows? KS is saying that the Cuban coffee is black with sugar. Are you shaking your leg? Because you're moving the computer.
Yeah.
Stop moving the computer. So it's black with sugar. But that sounds... Is it like
But is like the
coffee
bean different than, for an example, like Arabic or Colombian coffee or like Valhalla Java Odin Force blend?
Well, that's too extreme.
You
That's
know,
like
what's
Viking
the
coffee.
difference of the bean? You know, like the flavor of it. I'm sure there's gotta be something, right? Again, no idea about coffee whatsoever. So
Well, KS, if you want to elaborate more on that, that's fine. But it sounds good. I mean, I drink my coffee black, no sugar, because I like the bitterness. I don't have any issues with bitter flavors. Like, I could eat a 99% cocoa chocolate. Is it chocolate? Dark chocolate,
You ate
sorry.
100% one.
Yeah, I tried.
That was disgusting.
At first, it was a bit too bitter for
That
me.
was the
But then after,
grossest.
even the instructions on the chocolate tells you at the beginning probably you're gonna find it very bitter, but then it's something that you have to work on.
That was
Try
disgusting.
little by little. I love it.
Blech.
I love it. I mean, for me, the perfect dark chocolate is 80%, 70 or 80% dark chocolate.
75, 80, I think is good. Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on. The next point is the culture. That's number 7, by the way. The culture and history. Okay? The culture and history. And it's crazy how Latin American countries, it's crazy how cultural they are.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Every single town has a story behind.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's so many little towns in Mexico that they say, I don't know, something important happened here, and this is the house. And sometimes I think 100%, all the times, I think they're accurate. But who knows? Maybe I would say 99%, because I don't know. It depends on what we're talking about. But there's so much history, you know. I know some people probably might take advantage of that and be like making things up, but I don't know that for sure. But I know for sure that there's a lot of different, like, there's so much history behind different countries, you know.
Yeah.
And Mexico has a lot of history, and it's so cultural.
The one thing that I found really interesting about Mexico is that, like, the mariachi and all that is so popular in, like, mainstream culture. You know,
Mariachis?
like you were showing me, like, the music videos from, like, the, like, super famous.
Yeah.
It's like almost like pop music, but it's like mariachis and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for an example from Serbia, we have something similar, like the folk music. It's very similar. Like, they have their own.
Hard bass?
No, that's Russia. They have their own, like, the way they dress is very, you know, like, distinct to them. But it's not something that's that, like, prevalent in mainstream music, for an example. Like, like, there'll be some singers that were famous by singing similar, like, that kind of stuff. But usually if you saw somebody dressed like that, you're like, oh, that guy, just peasants, you know?
Oh, okay.
You know, they're...
Oh, in Mexico, like...
Whereas, that's...
In Mexico, there has been... I don't know about this music genre, but it's very pop and very mariachi-like, you know? And I know about banda. If you want to Google that music genre, Mexican banda, and it's like K-pop, but instead of having, you know, kids dancing, it's just like señores with thick mustaches, and they're playing. They're not dancing. They're
dancing like K-pop.
No, they're not dancing, but they are playing their guitars, their trumpets, and like a bunch of different, like the big one that is like tuba. That's a banda in that genre. Mariachis, yes, there's a lot of really good singers that they don't only sing with mariachis, but they bring back old songs and make them popular again. So it's very cultural, like very, very, very cultural. So one guy I remember, Luis Miguel, if you want to Google that or find it on YouTube, Luis Miguel is one good one. Alejandro Fernandez, and that the whole family, I told you, right, that the whole family sings mariachi kind of songs, or mariachi cultural songs, and they're so like big in Mexico. Like if you have a party, you can play those songs and they're not gonna be like, what's wrong with you? You know, that's like old music. No, they're gonna be like, oh my god, it's a classic. You know, it's so amazing. But anyways, that is the music. I mean, the music, the culture, and the history too. And well, you know, there's a lot of like ruins. You know, from Aztecs, Mayans in Mexico, but also in South America, you can find similar like cultures. And, Incas in Peru, and it's great. It's great. It's great, and you can tell that we had this mix between, you know, people from Spain, and in Argentina I think they had people from Italy, something like that. In Brazil they had like I think French people too, like French people, Spanish people, and I think some Italian people. They, you know, tried to get some land in Latin America, and they ended up staying, and we have a lot of different the people. You can tell that we're mixed. You know?
As you mentioned Peru, I just thought of the Peruvian pan flute music.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But you remember in the South Park episode with that?
Yes, with the giant guinea pigs.
Well, in Peru you can find giant vegetables. Like it's because of the weather. It's because of the altitude, I think. It's something really interesting. I see KS is sharing something. Cuando estaba trabajando en la terminal de cruceros, cuando viene gente de países latinos, yo diría que disfrute de su crucero o tenga un crucero maravilloso. That's great. That's great, KS. That's very nice of you. Yeah. So you probably don't know. Do you know what I said? Well, KS is saying that when he was working at some like cruise terminal, I think that's a term, when people come from Latin countries, you know, Latin American countries or Latinos, he would say, enjoy, in Spanish, enjoy the cruise and have it just said like a wonderful experience or something like that, a great trip. So that's nice of KS. For sure.
It's like we were saying earlier, it means a lot to people when they're in a different country and they come across somebody who can even know just a few phrases of the language, you know, like that really makes somebody's day. For
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, KS. And okay, we have 3 more points, okay? And the next one is la siesta,
which I need.
I think you need you don't need a siesta, you need a full night of sleeping, of good sleep. But anyways, la siesta and laid back life, you know, so something easygoing. And it's true. Like, I know that I stress out a lot.
No.
that's just me. But a lot of people from Latin America, including Spain, they have la siesta. And you know what la siesta is?
Just 2 hour break.
2 hour break. and usually people have it during lunchtime. So it's pretty cool because you have time to go home, eat your lunch, and rest a little.
Oh, must be nice. Must be nice.
And it's nice.
I get to sit in the car and just eat in the parking lot for 15 minutes and then have to go back inside.
Oh, I said the word. Well, who knows? Maybe YouTube is not gonna demonetize this, but yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
that
it
sucks.
sure does.
But you at least get some fresh air, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, and like at work, usually they give you not like North America. They usually give you, and Mexico is North America too, by the way. But I'm talking about America and Canada, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about Europe. But in those two countries, you usually get like 30 minutes to eat at the most.
Yeah, and some jobs you get an hour.
Yeah.
If you work a full shift, you get an hour and 2 15-minute breaks. Yeah. Whereas, for an example, in my job, you get a half hour and 2 15-minute breaks, which we pretty much never take because we're usually too busy to take them. So
that's bad.
Awesome.
That's bad. I had a job back in Mexico, a great job that they gave us 2 hours for lunch and to do whatever we needed to do. And it was great. It's something necessary because you actually get to chew your food. You actually get to have a break. And even if you have to do something like you have to go to the bank, you have to take a nap, you can do that. So I am pro siesta.
Oh yeah,
pro siesta for
time.
Sure. And also the laid back life. That's something that it's also necessary because if you're stressing out for every single thing every day, that's not life.
That's not a way to live. Yeah.
That's not a good life. So I hope other countries can learn from that. And I think that's one of the big things that people love about Latin America and Spain, because in Spain they also get la siesta.
Nice.
So that's amazing. And even I remember when I had that job and I had a 2 hours break, I was able to spend time with people from work outside of work. So we would be like, hey, let's go eat at this restaurant, whatever. And it was a medium-sized group, so we had time to everybody was at the restaurant eating, talking. That's another thing. When you eat, you talk. Usually Latinos do that, even in Spain too. But
you can do that when you have 2 hours.
What?
Yeah, you can do that when you have 2 hours.
Exactly.
See, we don't.
So you have some life.
Like 15 minutes to eat and then get back inside. So you just gotta do it in a hurry.
30 minutes? You open your lunch bag.
Yeah.
And you take everything out. There it goes 5 minutes, and then you're getting ready to eat. And what, you have 10 minutes to eat, so and then put everything back
and go back inside. Yep.
That's not good. I don't like that. Anyways, so do you agree with La Siesta?
Oh yeah, big time.
Something really good and necessary. Yeah. Okay, the next thing is the nature. All the nature in those countries. And we talked about that previously a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah.
Just let me tell you that just looking at mountains is impressive.
When we were going to Cancun, just flying over everything,
you can see
it looked like every pretty much type of climate, every type of nature is represented. It's really really cool. And that huge grasshopper at the airport,
I don't remember that
when we were getting there. And we were getting off the plane. There was on the window for the airport, there was like a grasshopper like bigger than my hand. Like it was huge.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
a massive thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There was
Well,
like
I
some
don't-
sort of insect,
Yeah,
but it was like
even
bigger than my hand.
that's the thing, though. That's the thing, that everything is bigger. And one thing that I was always afraid of when I was living in Mexico is the big cockroaches. They fly, man. They fly. So that is even worse. Yeah, because I remember I was just minding my own business, just walking or just doing anything that I needed to do, and then all of a sudden you feel something landing on your head.
Oh, gross.
Like heavy, like something heavy, but not too heavy. And
Yeah.
then you know what it is. You know what it is, and you start like.
That's what somebody said online once. I can't remember where I saw it, but they said like everybody's gangster until the cockroach starts flying.
Exactly. And I'm not lying to you. They were how big? Like almost 2 inches.
Jeez.
Well, it's 2 inches like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Wow,
Like
that's
this big.
huge.
like this big.
That is huge.
This big, and that is terrifying. Also, I remember I was again minding my own business. I just looked up. I was in my mother's house. I looked up just because, and I saw a scorpion. Like that one was small, but I don't think that's a good thing either.
Yeah.
And it was almost transparent, so
Wow.
it was yellow-ish. So that's like poisonous. Yeah. So that's part of Latin America, and I don't know in Spain. I don't know what kind of animals they have, but the nature. Well, that's a little terrifying thing about it. But overall, the nature is amazing. You look at like gigantic mountains everywhere. You have like sometimes you have deserts. Sometimes you have like jungles, and sometimes you have like waterfalls that are like gigantic.
Like everything. Yeah, that's really
everything.
cool. That's really interesting.
Everything. And the beaches are amazing. Like super bright blue beaches. Oh, the best. Okay, so KS is saying, ojalá tuviéramos un descanso de 2 horas en mi trabajo. So KS is very much saying the same thing. That, KS wishes that they had a 2-hour break at work. Yeah,
we all?
I agree. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing, KS. And lastly, number 10, accents within the Spanish language. So we talked about this again, briefly at the beginning of the video when we were talking about the language. But it's impressive how many accents you can get from different Latin American countries, and even in Spain. They have so many different accents, within Spanish, and even within the country, like not only Spain but also Mexico. If you go to the north of Mexico, they speak in a certain way, and if you go to the south, in a completely different way. Every state, they speak in like it sounds like it's another language, but you understand it because you know Spanish. And I love it because usually when people move to other states within Mexico, they get the accent. They start speaking. If I'm from the north and I go to the south and I live, I don't know, a few years there, I will end up speaking like people down there. It's crazy. It's crazy. So in Mexico, you can find that in Mexico, in Colombia, in Argentina, in every, like Cuba, everybody has their own accent. and they all speak Spanish in a different way. They have their slang, they have their different words and all of that. But it's interesting because if you're curious about, the Latin American culture, you will learn a lot. Like, you will spend an eternity or even more learning about that.
Different.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it's great. All the Latin American countries, they have so much to give, culturally speaking, to a lot of different countries.
Yeah.
So I think those are the 10 things that people love about Latin America / Spain. But what do you think overall?
Yeah,
do you agree with
all?
Do
Absolutely,
you have any
really cool.
favorite one?
Well, like I said, the nature is really cool, and I always liked seeing stuff like that. The culture itself as well, like all the ruins, the history, and like the food. Sure. The food was really good when we were there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's it for today, guys. I know it's kind of late and you probably have to work tomorrow. So thank you again for watching. KS, thank you so much for participating, for sharing with us your experiences, the things that you do. And thank you so much for that. KS is saying, su al igual que el inglés con el acento. Yeah, like English accents too, like the accent from UK, UK, the British English,
and even
and American English, like so many accents.
Even in just the UK, there's so many different accents as well. It's not just the one, right?
Yeah.
Like just
you
even
go to Scotland.
Well, just London itself, even just the city, different parts have different accents, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it's or
definitely.
Or in like the US, if you go south, the accent's different. Like in Texas versus Georgia versus
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good point, KS, for sure. So it's good to stay curious, about all of that. And besides learning a new language, you should also know something about the culture, from whatever you want to learn from, right?
Yeah.
So if you're learning Spanish because you like Mexico, then please just read about Mexico, ask me questions about Mexico and all of that, and also, if you're interested in Argentina, know more about the culture. We're gonna try to just let you guys know more about different Latin American countries, including Spain. And you can leave comments down below. You can let us know more about that. If you want us to talk about certain thing, please let us know. And thank you again, KS, for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for participating. It's always nice.
Yeah. And that's it. That's it for today. Have a great night. Remember to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time we live stream. Also visit smlessons.com for more free Spanish lessons. And please give this video a like. That helps us a lot. Anything else?
Whoever from YouTube has to sit and watch this, hope you're having a nice day.
What?
Said whoever from YouTube has to watch this to approve for monetization. I hope you're having a nice day.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, why not? Okay, well, please check out the memberships if you're interested in supporting this channel, and of course, if you can. And that's it for today, guys. Tonight.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, me too. Well, take care. Bye.